Greetings, saber fans. It's your reply Megtooth Sith. I've got a very special saber for you tonight. My grandfather's lightsaber. Powered by Proffie. This saber is awesome. How can you like it? I guarantee.
Greetings, saber fans. It's your old pal Megtooth Sith. I have ESB MPP 2018 here for you. I've done tons of accuracy mods on this thing to make it ESB accurate. This saber, the funny thing is I was building this for my November run, and one of my YouTube and Facebook channel subscribers just happened to engage me in conversation and knew that I was building several sabers here for November. And before this saber was even built, my YouTube and Facebook subscriber from Arkansas actually, offered to purchase this saber sight unseen before it was even built. So this saber is already spoken for, and thanks to my YouTube subscriber and also Facebook subscriber Steven in Arkansas, MPP, and it is in an Empire Strikes Back fashion. Has the black clamp bars, the cotter pin and the washer, and just a bolt. There's no clamp, just like there wasn't on ESB. And also I've put the blue sloth furnace ESB card behind the bubble strips, and I've added the solder points underneath the bubble strip. In addition, I've added slotted screws on both sides of the MPP here and here, and also have done modifications to the slotted screws fore and aft on the control panel. And I've added a second button in, which is the activation button here, and the main button, the big button, the stock button, is the auxiliary button. The forward slotted screw acts as blade retention. In addition to those mods on the outside that make this 2018 Korbanth more accurate to the movie, I've also added a Arkham razor blade plug. Now, the razor blade plug that's in here isn't necessarily accurate to the hilt, but it's really awesome, and I want to show it to you.
Kylo Ren.
Here it is in Fireblade. Here it is in Lockup.
Kylo Ren. Young Rey.
Rainbow blade. There's your rainbow blade in the blade plug, which is pretty awesome. So the blade plug is a pretty awesome addition to this saber, even though it's not screen accurate and the rest of the hilt is. You've got the black clamp bars, the bolt, and the modifications I've done to the bolt here. You've got a pretty awesome saber here. And of course, this saber is powered by Proffie. And here you go. It's already booted up. Smooth swing, of course. K-Sys. Lock up. Tip drag. Blaster blocks. Oop. Wrong button. Now, of course, this is the Rogue One Vader. I know y'all have had to have seen this video of this demonstrated. If you haven't, you really should. This is K-Sys Rogue One Vader. You all get the point, right? This next preset is, of course, Sith's Rogue One Vader, but it's got Imperial March as the background music. Next font is Crossguard with, that's Sith's Smooth Swing for Kylo Ren, and this is the Fire Blade.
Did you come back to say you forgive me? Save my soul.
This is Megtooth Sith's Fire Blade, which is also the Crossguard. You can see the different flash effect, different lockup, and blaster blocks. This next one is, of course, Rey's Jedi Training from TLJ, Sith's Smooth Swing, with Deep Sky Blue Blade. This is just an incredible font, incredible blade. Doesn't really belong on Vader Saber, but what the hell? Blaster blocks, lock up, tip drag. Listen to those swings again. Just incredible.
Luke Skywalker.
Next one's the Luke Skywalker Bard scene. You got a green blade. You also got the Bard scene music in the background. This is my lightning blade, and the lightning blade's got some real special music. Duel of Fates. Blaster blocks on my lightning blade.
Light.
Purple fire, just in case you want it.
Luke Skywalker.
Green fire, another in case you wanted it.
The balance.
Purple blade. There's your lock up. Blaster block.
Team C.
This, of course, is your rainbow blade. Cylon, which, I put pretty much on everything. That also has the Battlestar soundtrack on it. Rogue Commander, this is a red cycle. This is the Dexter's Smooth Swing Rogue Commander. Here's your lockup, which Dexter says is eggs frying. Listen. Dexter's creative. This is Truth Crystal. This is a blue cycle blade. There it is. Lockup.
Smooth gray.
There's your strobe blade. Just smooth gray. Another one of Dexter's spots. Star Wars POV blade. Write Star Wars in the air. Persistency of vision blade. Sit there and stare at it in the dark long enough, you'll see the Star Wars.
Light.
And then the last is your battery meter blade, which it indicates, you know, your level of your battery, which is full minus what I've just done in this demonstration.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
And then back to Vader. This is a Vader saber. Hope you like the demonstration. The instructional videos are going to follow about how to operate this saber and maintain it. You can see that by hanging in there. So, really quick, the only two controls on the Proffie saber, there's two buttons here on the control panel. You've got this big button here, and you've got this small button here towards the front. The small button is the main button. The big button is the auxiliary button. The reason I made the big button as the auxiliary is a lot of times when I'm holding this saber, I accidentally hit that button, so I didn't want that to be the main button. So the main button ignites the saber, and it's just a quick press and retracts the saber. Ignite and retract. To play a soundtrack, you press and hold the main button while the saber's in idle like it is now. It's not got any blade going, it's not got any sound going. And you press the forward button for a long hold, 1 or 2 seconds, and then release it, and it begins the soundtrack. Once the soundtrack's begun, you can ignite the saber. And the auxiliary button is your blaster blocks. I'm going to stop the music because I want to show you the force sound. So to get a force sound, you ignite the saber. And then once the saber's ignited, a long press on the main button gives you your force sound. To get a blaster block, you press the auxiliary. To get a clash, you merely clash the saber. To get a lockup, you clash the saber while you're either pressing and holding auxiliary or the main button. It doesn't matter. There's your lockup. And lockup will keep going until you release the button. To turn off the saber, just a quick press. That is all the functions that you need to know about on the MPP with Proffie, except for perhaps the mute function. If you want to ignite the saber in mute and not bother your loved ones, you can do a quick double tap on the power button, and you'll hear it briefly, but as you can see there, it is lit up and it does do all the functions. But it's in mute. To get out of that, you just power the saber off, but then it'll light up in normal sound the next time you ignite it. And there it is, normal. So now, what I would like to do is show y'all how to dismantle the saber. To dismantle the saber, the clamp, this section here, the black clamp, is attached to the lower section. There's a rubber boot inside the clamp that spins on the outside of the upper housing. So what you want to do is grip the upper housing, And when I say grip the upper housing, I mean grip it up here, because down here, you know, you can damage stuff and hold on to stuff. And then while you're gripping the upper housing, you lefty-loosey on the lower hilt, just like this. And what this is doing is it's de-threading the lower hilt from the upper hilt, and it's taking the clamp with it. And once the threads disengage, you then gently pull the hilt off of the chassis. So there is the saber and the chassis, and then here is the lower hilt with the clamp attached. I've actually set a bolt in there to keep the clamp aligned properly when you have it totally tightened. We'll get to that in a second. As far as the chassis goes, here's the chassis, and here is your Proffie board. And you do, of course, have access to your Proffie board's plug-in terminal there, although you shouldn't mess with the programming unless you know what you're doing. And if you want to change the fonts on the SD card, you can merely just release the Proffie from the chassis, and of course you have the SD card access there. This is the advantage of the Custom Saber Shop's chassis. This saber is equipped with an Adrian Tan's Saber Essentials 28mm bass speaker, and it is, you know, a very simple chassis. To change out the battery on this Proffie MPP, it's very simple. You simply unplug the plug and then you pull the battery out. Now, this saber takes normal 18650 battery, pre-wired. You can buy these at the Custom Saber Shop. If you do buy them at the Custom Saber Shop, it's very important that you make sure you get the battery with the 10 amp cutoff. You don't want to get the normal battery. This battery is designed to drive Neopixel sabers, which draw more amps, but please use the 10 amp cutoff batteries. Now, the pre-wired Custom Saber Shop batteries all work the same. They will, any pre-wired Custom Saber Shop 18650 will work in this chassis, but you need to use the 10 amps. You just snap the battery back in, and then you take the plug and you plug your plug back in, and you should hear a boot. Which we do. Your recharge port is here, and if you want to recharge this saber, you simply take your charger and you plug your charger into the saber here via this port, and then you plug your charger into the wall. Plug it into the saber first, then plug it into the wall. Usually the light will turn green on the charger when the battery is full, and then you can remove the charger.
You do have a great many things to explain.
And all should be well. I will be giving you a rotational kill key. It's actually drying right now, but I am making the rotational kill key that will go in the saber here. And when you're not using the saber, you need to make sure you rotate that kill key to the saber's off, and you'll be able to tell, because if you press the button, then the saber's not off. But when you rotate the kill key, it will actually shut the power off, and when you press the button on the saber, nothing will happen. To put the hilt back on, you take the lower hilt and you gently put it back on. Now look, you want to be careful that you don't ground out the hilt on the board, so you want to make sure that the hilt goes in straight, and it's a fairly tight fit. Once you get to this point here, you want to make sure the upper hilt goes into the lower hilt, and you push until it stops. And you hear it stop. Then once it stops, you gently rotate the saber righty-tighty, the lower onto the upper, still holding on to the front up here, righty-tighty, until the thread stops. And the thread should stop when your clamp card is on the bottom of the saber. And the clamp should be aligned down the center line of the saber, just like this, on the bottom of the saber, just like you see here. And that's how you put the saber back together after you charge the battery. This is the Proffie MPP Neopixel lightsaber. Thank you for watching.